Oh yeah, I think we're recording anyways. Whatever. I always do that. I never know. I'm gonna actually set a timer for this to keep us to a 50-minute video, so we don't bore people with a super long video.
Patrick, it's a good thing he has the clock then. Just saying.
Why is it a good thing I have the clock?
Well, if anybody's going to jabber a little bit longer than the rest, it might be Mr. Roop.
Yeah, but my information is solid and good and amazing, and everyone loves it. So there, shut it.
Hatter, gotta love
That's great.
it.
Good Thursday, gentlemen.
Yes, it is Thursday. It's a windy Thursday.
Now, at least it's not cold, though.
Well, it is behind me up here at Mount Washington Omni.
My laptop doesn't have the right processor to put in a virtual background.
Oh, that's too bad. My 8-year-old Mac does, so
yeah.
I'm chilling with my T-shirt in the snow.
My MacBook Air doesn't. I'm still in the sweatshirt, and Patrick as well. Even though we're not in the snow, we're still in sweatshirts because we don't turn our heat up to 8,000 degrees in our house.
My heat is not 8,000. I'm just a mainer.
All right, boys. Happy fun Thursday. Tech Tip Thursday.
Yes.
Go through our little fun tech tips. I will splice in some wonderful videos of our tech tips as we talk about them and such. All of our tech tips this week are all with Google Meet again because they're rolling out with Fast and Furious. And they're just little tips so that they you know, it would be like a quick 15 to 20 second video. So we just figure we'll just jump it all in here in one thing. So.
Right, because who doesn't like to watch a 10 to 12-minute video of us pattering for a while with just a few snippets of actual tutorial?
I've had so many people in our school district that said, I just want to listen to you guys talk. I don't care about the tech tips. But
wow,
we're giving you tech
Summer
tips
Institute, baby.
anyways.
Woo!
We're giving you tech tips anyways. Because Patrick, how are you?
I'm doing very well.
Because Patrick is the silent one. We found yesterday, one of the things that was released yesterday was the Gmail. You can now enter a Google Meet in Gmail, and you really like that feature.
I mean, I think it's great, and I mean, the primary reason I like it, honestly, is just because it's going to stop all the confusion, or at least help with the confusion regarding Hangouts versus Meet, which, I mean, I can't tell you the amount of times where either speaking to a student or a teacher, I'm like, okay, you go to meet.google.com for video conferencing. Do not try and do the video conferencing through Gmail, but now you can.
Right.
Now that Meet is integrated, so it's very convenient.
So the background information on that for people that don't know, it's been like 2 years that Google's been trying to split things out and find the best way to do this, and they keep going back and forth. For those of us that support it, it is super annoying. And I've told people that and Google that as well too. But yeah, so they started with Hangouts. So everything was Hangouts. And then, I'm sorry, I'm being distracted by a 14-year-old.
That's all right. It's business that really kind of got Meets going. And then people in education said we could really use it, which is why it kind of dovetailed into that. People started even purchasing Meet hardware to have video conferencing equipment in place. But it makes it a little trickier when they try to rebrand something and it then takes so long to go because we've been calling it Hangouts Meet forever with the dash, which is confusing.
And they so they did create a new chat program called Hangouts Chat and Hangouts Meet, but they still have the classic Hangouts as well.
Right.
Like we got to cut the cord, people, at some point. Let's do it. Let's do it Patrick's way, which is have Google Meet in your Gmail like it is. Throw chat in there as well too. Separate the two of them and move on.
Bingo.
Couldn't agree more. Well said, Tom.
I'm so excited.
This is what's really funny is like I said, I've got a 14-year-old and he exudes about the same amount of excitement that Patrick exudes. So it's a thing.
Well,
it's you youngins. You guys
only talking 8-9 years difference, right? So.
All right. Another thing that came out this week, this one was slightly earlier this week. I think it was 2 days ago instead of yesterday. Was they added when in your present mode in Google Meet, you can now present just a Chrome tab.
Yeah.
Eric, that's your baby. You really like that one.
Absolutely. So the elementary folks have been wanting a way to present, and often it's either a video or it's an audio book with the littles in our early elementary levels, and they wanted to present so that they could still see who's in the class next to them and also be able to share. And it's been a little tricky with audio up until this week, and now with that share tab, you can jump over to a program like RazKids or Books or Epic Books or Revit, which is the Google version of audiobooks. And you can kind of share an audiobook with your class by doing just the share tab, which is excellent. It makes life so much easier.
I think what's really interesting when we talk about these products is you can tell which schools we work at and which levels we work at, and that we're trained. Like Eric was a elementary school teacher, so he gets a lot more of that elementary school vibe and being able to use those tools on that standpoint. I think from Patrick's standpoint, like if you had a meeting, it would probably be mostly YouTube videos that were being shown.
Well, Patrick's so close to being high school age, it makes sense. And you never left middle school, so that's why you're still there.
That's the best place to work.
Yeah, that's my theory, right?
Yep. When you never left middle school, you have that's where you belong.
That's right.
So, Patrick, have you had anyone check out this new casting a tab? What do you think of it?
Haven't spoken to anyone about it really, but it's definitely quite helpful in terms of if you are meeting with your students, if you want to share something, any kind of media within your browser which incorporates audio, which is, I mean, you've already gone over the examples, but I'm sure teachers will find this useful because, all those instances in which you may have wanted to show a video in your class or, do a lab that involves sound or anything like that, in those same instances, you could be sharing your tab on a Meet with your students. So I'm sure the teachers will find plenty of good uses for it.
Yeah, I think too, as we start to plan out end of the year festivities, this will be a great way to have something preloaded, and then you can share the tab while others interact with it, which would be good because up until then, we were struggling with how do you stream something but still let people kind of feel like a live audience.
And one of the things that's been certainly brought up during this whole time is the difference between synchronous and asynchronous learning and what's best. And each kid learns different. I mean, any teacher will tell you that each kid learns different. So there are plenty of kids that if you just put the link to the video in Google Classroom, they'll watch the video, they'll do everything they need to do and be done. But there are others that need to have that.
Probably not in kindergarten, but you're right.
Well, I'm just talking about from Patrick's standpoint, from a high school standpoint.
Definitely.
You're going to have both sides of it. So to be able to do that with a kid on a one-on-one and be able to watch the video and be able to talk and be like, hey, all right, pause. What did you think about that? So that you would make sure they're understanding it on a little bit of a better realm. So the last one we're going to bring up is one that I've liked because I've been paying attention and I've been working with some of the people over at Google in their Meet and hardware department. Is they have added what they call tile view into their view options. So when you click on the three dots in the lower right-hand corner, and go to your view, and again, that's going to be showed and spliced in here. You get 4 options now. One's auto, one's sidebar, one is just the live person talking just pops up, and then the last one is tiled, which is the grid view, which is what everyone wants. It's great. It's fantastic. It's put into Meet, except it has limitations.
It does have a little bit, but this is a perfect point to bring up that if you have feedback for a feature request, do it because Google is looking at it. They're looking at the analytics behind it. Tom, you and I know Paratosh got a ton of feedback on this, and that's exactly why there's a build now in Meet. Not that he coded it, but he sent that message to the coders that we need to get this up and running because people are trying extensions and it's hit or miss at times with extensions and who has extensions, how do you push them out? This just makes it a whole lot easier.
Yep. And so the limitation behind it right now is it is only a 16 head count view. So you'll have a maximum of 16 people at a time. So if you have a class with 30 kids, you may want to change it. Or if you have a big meeting with more people, you may want to change that. However, it's very rare that you have, even if you have a larger class, that you have that many people talking at the same time. So if you want to be able to watch every student's reaction, I would still suggest using an extension, a grid view extension. So like we still have grid view pushed out to everyone. It's still active. I would suggest if you have smaller groups, shut it off and use the Google version of it. It's really cool. And then if you have larger classes, turn the extension view back on, and I think that will work. Again, and I've said time and time for this to people, time and time again, to say, look, you do what you work best with, especially in times like this. Work with what you can work with. Don't push the envelope too much, because once you get to that point, you may just end up confusing things, and like just work what you can work with.
Yeah, because again, I'll use elementary as an example. Often teachers are communicating with parents and not kids. So yes, we pushed out the extension all kids accounts, but when you're jumping on a video chat, most likely those teachers are reaching out to the parents, and we don't know if they have the extension. Well, now that it's built into the tool, we could say go down to the right and use tile view, and then everybody can have the Brady Bunch style view if they really want it.
And Patrick, you probably face something similar, because most of the high school kids have their own devices, so they may not be signing into Chrome either.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I wouldn't say I've had a ton of questions regarding like grid view, but as it is built into the platform now, there would be no issue with someone not having access. So I guess nothing to add, but.
And like Eric said, we just send feedback if there are other things that come up and you want to see. So that's definitely a thing. Most of the Google products, there's a little question mark up in the upper right-hand corner. That's where a lot of the feedback buttons are. You click on that and you say send feedback. Except in Google Classroom. In Google Classroom, it's actually in the lower left-hand corner, which can be tough to see as you're scrolling through your classroom. So just to put that out there for people to keep an eye on that lower left-hand corner.
Yeah. And again, you can use feedback to report bugs, or just to ask a question if you're not sure where something might be, or a feature request if you're like, you know what, this would be great if this could do this. And again, they're always looking, and the analytics behind it once that gets voted up. So encourage your colleagues to vote it up as well. Right. And then usually it'll be part of a build in the future.
So those are our tech tips for the week. That pushed us through most of this. I wanted to throw some outside of the educational things out there as we get in the getting to know you for everyone, because not everyone, I've been around the school district for 5 years now. Most people know who I am, but not everyone knows Patrick.
That is true.
So we're going to do a little getting to know you by picking Patrick's brain a little bit about some of his interests.
You're really ambushing me right now, Tom.
Wow.
A little bit. It's not really ambushing you. You'll be able to get through this pretty easily. So Patrick, you are you
Is there a red filter, or is that Patrick just little embarrassment? No, all right.
You are a young adult. You graduated from UMass Amherst last year.
I did, yes.
Yep. And you are a gamer. You are a PC gamer. We've talked about this a little bit in the past. You do play some PC games.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly strategy-based games.
Yes.
Historically, one that I played when I was in college, StarCraft.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, I've been playing a ton of the 90s version of StarCraft for the past month. Kind of actually when quarantine started, I was like, if I have a quarantine resolution, I need to learn how to play StarCraft 1.
Wow, this is like Ready Player One out of nowhere. Holy cow.
And
vintage.
I kind of gave up because it's just like ridiculous. I mean, games back then, like, they were great, but it's not very intuitive.
They were not intuitive, because I remember, like I said, I played that game when I was in college, and it was not intuitive at all. It was hard to maneuver. And the interesting thing now is games are based towards kids' dexterity of their fingers to be able to quickly, go through things in the mouse and everything, and they're very dexterous games. It was very simple back then. Like, we were point and click people, so it was like, all right, hit
one joystick,
hit that. So it was a transition from the gaming platform of the joystick to the PC. So those were some of the early ones. So you didn't enjoy the 90s version of StarCraft as much?
I don't know. I kind of enjoyed it, and then, I mean, I just feel like I can never really get the hang of it. Like, I don't know, just units not doing what you want them to do. I don't know.
I hate when that happens.
Clicking the button just work.
Shoot them harder.
See, exactly. Now you know why people of our age and later, that's where we get the click happy from. We just Our
You know, just
computers were so
spam
slow.
it until it works.
That's right. That's where it came from.
See, I thought it was trying to get that concert ticket. No.
There could be that.
No.
Oh God, you brought back flashbacks. I remember.
Right. Oh yeah.
It had to be the certain number log in. It had to keep refreshing the screen to
Ticketmaster. Yeah, he had 2 devices going. I got to get to see Pearl Jam in Boston. Come on. Ah, amazing.
All right, boys. Guess what?
We're out of time. Hopefully,
We kept it on time. Boom. Done.
Giddy up.
So,
Well done.
I hope everyone enjoys week whatever it is of distance learning. I don't know. I've lost count.
8, 7,
8,
somewhere in there. Yeah.
right.
Anyway, halfway in.
13.
All right. So, boys, we will see you next week. Everyone,
Alrighty.
enjoy another great week of distance learning.
You as well, Tom.